Hello everyone, my name is Alfred. So on the thread for passing LDC, I made one of the tips for passing as reading facts like a lawyer. So I've had very many colleagues or learning colleagues, learning colleagues reaching out to me asking what I really meant with reading facts like a lawyer. So I want to use some facts which were workshop facts, and I try to take you through how to read facts like a lawyer. So the first basis is usually lawyers naturally don't talk a lot. Okay, others don't talk a lot because like they're introverted, and others generally they don't talk a lot because they eat from words, whether written or spoken. So whatever they talk or whatever they say there's a reason behind why they are saying it. And now when you are through university, high school, we were taught read facts like read the first time, the second time, and the third time. Now at LDC, or even at law school, you may not have the luxury to read all those 3 times. So when you get the facts, you have to read those facts in a way that even after 3 lines maximum, you get to figure out what the lecturer wants to say or what is really up to. So I'll use an example of these facts to show you what I really want to come to. So there are facts like: assume you are a legal assistant at MS Lutaya and Company Advocates, Plot 14, Kampala Road, PO Box 422, Kampala. So you just end there. The reason why they have, if you ask yourself why the reason why they have given you that's the address of the firm. So you have to put the address of the firm wherever it is needed, at the foot of your pleadings, at when you're saying care of this address. And then they say where Mr. Gunsanzepo. So you will just note Gunsanze is my client, is before you. So Gunsanzepo, it tells you that is a son and a beneficiary of the estate of which this is the father, Gunsanze John Bosco. So what comes in your mind is, are there letters of administration to this estate? Is there proof of sonship? As regards to the law, which law are they leading me to? So look what they're leading you to, the Succession Act as amended. So it goes on to tell you that his father is the registered proprietor of land straight located at Single Block 32, Plot 55, Kajwanji Village, Mitiana, majorly 165 acres. So the moment they mention is the registered proprietor, so you have what comes in your mind is, where is the certificate of title for this land you're talking about? And then as regards to the law, which law are they leading you to? They're leading you to the Land Act, Registration of Titles Act, basically. So after that, it tells you that the said land is used as their family land, family home of his late father since 1976, when their father became registered on the certificate of title, and that the family has never appointed an administrator of their late dad's estate. So this one, the law they are leading you to is now specified the section of the Land Act which provides for family property and any case law. After that, they are looking here at how is family land dealt with upon demise of the deceased. What considered family land? How they deal with it? So those are things they want you to ponder on. It tells you, and that the family has never. Then you first say that, and that the family has never appointed an administrator of their daddy's estate. So this means now you don't have letters of admission in the estate. So they may need to apply for them. Or alternatively, if you want to sue so that you save the estate before you apply for letters of administration, then it implies you have to sue as a beneficiary of the estate of the deceased. And the good thing at first you have seen that is a real estate, and you are going to get a proof of maybe sonship. Then it tells you it comprises of farmland, cattle, and other developments. So these are where there is a provision in the CPR that pleadings must state material facts. So these are material facts which ought to be stated. Then tells you, it gives you a copy of the duplicate certificate of title. So now since you have gone back to, you have talked of the RTA, now you have this duplicate certificate of title, and you're in civil procedure. So you remember that provision of the civil procedure, that where you have the document you want to rely on at the time of the trial, before the trial starts. At this time, since we have the document you want to rely on, then we may have to attach it to our pleadings. So Mr. Gusan's report tells you that the family is facing threats of eviction from the suit land by one parakesh. So you just pause and since you're facing threats of eviction from the suit land, so what is the appropriate remedy to counter this threat? Then after that, you look at what is the procedure from arrangement you're going to use to counter this threat. And then you'll go now to draft the draft of the document you're going to use to obtain the appropriate remedy. And by one parakesh singe. So by parakesh singe, we have got the defendant here, or who is going to be the defendant or respondent in an application, who claims to have bought 18 acres of land from single block Mitana from Gunsanze John Bosque in 2019, before he passed on in 2020. So when a person claims something, he has to prove it. So this now brings in the thing of the Contracts Act, because he bought land, that was a contract. This is where the Evidence Act comes in, because you're going to claim. So then Gunsanze tells you that is the client telling you that his father was very ill in 2019. I have not participated in that sale of the 18 acres. He also tells you that his father could hardly read and write, and thus his signature, if any, was forged. So this now goes back to the Evidence Act and bringing then an handwriting expert to confirm or to verify this agreement. It then tells you that Parakesh started hearing about 2 acres of his alleged land 3 days ago. So this is the fact that Parakesh is encroaching on the land or is using the land. So it means there is immediate threat of wanting to be evicted, which needs to be halted. So how are you going to hold this immediate threat faster? Then it tells you that he actually brought a team of 12 men with instructions to demolish existing buildings, cut down old growing trees, banana plantations, and then fence off the 18 acres. So now this goes back to the point of immediate threat of eviction, with these 12 men coming to demolish everything. So you're going to need the images which show all the photos showing the cleared part of the land. You're going to need the images or the photos of the cut trees. And when you're drafting your pleadings in the main suit, you're going to have it in mind that you have to recover the monetary equivalent of the cut trees and the damages per se. Then it tells you that however, unluckily acting on a tip-off. So there's someone who tipped him off. So the moment you say tip-off, you have now this someone to be one of your witnesses, still in the main suit, and even on the application, it will depend on the support of the application. Gusanze tells you that he quickly mobilized these village mates who successfully chased the land grabbers away. So you still need now other village mates. So you need only at least one village mate to be one of your witnesses, or even in any case you can even swear that you have the support of your application for any injunctive remedies. Then Parakesh Singe agents had by far cut down 4 jacaranda trees, 5 avocado trees, and 12 banana stems. So now this goes to the point of where in your main suit you are going to have the monetary equivalent of these trees recovered in the main suit, and in your application you are going to see how the fates are really actual in nature. The person is acting faster, cutting everything, clearing everything. So if the action is not stopped, there cannot be atoned by an amount of damages per se. Nonetheless, Parakech's men were feeling that it's not yet over, and their boss had already paid them for the work which they were determined finish sooner than later. So now this, so from where we have looked at, you are going to have the ex parte interim. So you are going to have the main suit. You have your application is the interim order. Then you have your application for interim injunction, the application for the interim. So now they are showing you their boss paid them. The people who are encroaching, who are demolishing everything on land have been not. They are told that their boss paid them to finish sooner than later. So it is too urgent. So at the moment of filing your pleadings, this is when you need to get an ex parte interim order. And if you so that when you're serving the pleadings, you serve it together with your pleadings. Nonetheless, if you serve one without that interim stopping anything, the guy may go now to demolish. By the time the matter comes for hearing, there's nothing even else to serve. So with that, when you have spent 10 minutes to read these facts, and you see, so roughly now from whatever we have been noting down, from reading, from what we have been commenting every after two lines, you can see briefly your client is a beneficiary estate of the deceased. This is a person who never sold land to any person, but this person who claims to have bought land from the same estate and is encroaching on it and is clearing the whole land. So with that, those are brief facts, and this is how brief they are. So we got the law applicable. So yeah, the issues you have seen, the long-term remedy available to recover this land, the procedure from enrichment is required to recover this land. Now after that, you really want to recover the land, but then there's the aspect of immediate danger, immediate threat. So you have to get the appropriate interim remedies to recover the land as you pursue the long-term remedy. So that's the procedure. So the appropriate interim remedies are now getting applying for a temporary injunction, and maybe even an application for interim injunction. So still you have the same issues of what's the procedure from enrichment, what's the most appropriate interim remedy in circumstances. You have now what's the procedure from enrichment required to get these interim remedies. So those are now already your 4 issues, and you see how they have been flowing with ease. And then the law applicable. You see, as we have been noting down, even after like 2 lines, few lines, you have been having the law. So from your side, you already have your laws of you have the Succession Act, you have the Land Act, you have the Registration of Titles Act, you have the Evidence Act, you have the Contracts Act. Now you have the Civil Procedure Rules, Civil Procedure Act, and then case law. So with this, you would have used maximum 15 minutes to read the facts as a lawyer. So it means now, you can go on, you have 2 hours, sorry, you have 1 hour now, 40 minutes. Because if the paper is 2 hours, so you have used the roughly 15 minutes. So you have the rest of the minutes to answer the question. So this would be, in my view, this is better than you reading the facts. The first time you spend your 5 minutes, you read the second time, and then the third time in the bit of, because you are told to read facts 3 times. You can read facts like a lawyer, and you read them as you're contemplating what the examiner is reading you to. What does he or she want you to take out from reading that fact? Like you have seen, you after every few lines you contemplate, or you have a takeaway or the major point to consider. You have the law they are reading you to, and then you have the issues to ponder about. So you go like that every after few lines. By the time you're done reading the facts, you're good to go. You don't have to wait for this block question, which is always put down that advise the client on the appropriate media, advise this and this. When you do this virtually, by the time you reach down, you have even covered everything. So that is it. If you need more, you can like button here. So for the next videos, you'll be the first to get. Okay, thank you.